and numbers matter. It isn't about who you want to win, it's about who do you think's actually going to win. So, having said all that, I haven't crunched the numbers to the best of my ability. I believe the Democrats will pick up 38 seats. Now that is more than 24 they need. It's more than the 26 that the polling average indicates, at least on Real Clear Politics, and obviously different sites look at it slightly differently and look at slightly different polls, but 26 is a number that makes sense based on the polling. I think they're gonna go to 38. Now, could they go higher? Yes. But first, let me share what the map would look like if it is 38. So then the Democrats would have the House and they would have it significantly. They would have 233 seats and the Republicans would have only 202 seats. Basically, it'd be a role reversal where the Democrats then could easily pass any legislation they want. Will they? Well, that's a different question. We'll handle that after the election. And believe me, we'll put a lot of pressure on them to actually do what they said they were gonna do to continue to energize the voters. But I actually think the range is not 26 to 38. I think the range of Democratic pickups in the House is 38 to 50. And the only reason why I don't have it at 50 at the upper end of the range is because the early voting is not quite at the level that I would hope for in the demographics that would help the Democrats. And also because there's still a lot of corporate Democrats out there running Republican-like campaigns. I think that the populists are completely underrated, but so far there's not quite enough of them. I hope that in 2020 that changes after the populist progressives come up with victories that were unexpected. We already have had a lot of those, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in a very blue district, but Kara Eastman in a very red district. And so if the Kara Eastmans of the world win, and the Ojettas win, and there's so many others out there, just check out justdemocrats.com to see those progressive populist candidates, then I think we could run more of those in 2020 and have bigger victories, but that range. Now I want to do the Senate real quick as well. Obviously there's 100 senators, you guys know that, and currently today there's 51 Republicans and 49 Democrats, and so that is really close. Unfortunately, there's a lot more Democratic seats up than Republican seats. So it is much harder to win the Senate, even though it's a smaller margin. It's overwhelmingly Democratic seats that are up for re-election because a third of the Senate goes up for re-election every 2 years. The next 2 cycles, by the way, there'll be a lot more Republican seats up, and then they're in for a world of hurt. But in this cycle, everybody believes that the Democrats are probably not going to be able to pull out a victory. In fact, they think they might lose 1 or 2 seats in this cycle. Well, look, here I'm less certain because a lot of the Democratic candidates are Republican-light, total conservative corporate Democrats, and so they're gonna shoot themselves in the foot. But I do believe that the wave is real. I believe that more women will show up. I believe that there's a lot of people angry about Donald Trump. And I also believe, and this is important, that Donald Trump's strategy of trying to turn out his base by being more and more hateful almost every day leading up to the election, yes, will turn up a couple of more people in his base, but will actually anger enough people in the Democratic base to have more of them show up. I think it is a counterproductive strategy as things stand now. And you have to understand something. Last point on this is just very important and is not taken into account by the rest of the media enough. Donald Trump needed 85% of white evangelical voters to show up for him to win in 2016. And 81% of them voted for Donald Trump. That is an astounding number. It's nearly impossible to replicate. In fact, if you take white evangelical, in this case specifically, less educated white evangelical voters out, do you know that Hillary Clinton actually won non-college educated white voters by a large margin? So it's almost exclusively the evangelical base that is propping up the Republican Party. But if they don't show up at an 85% rate, which is record-breaking, the rate that they showed up at 2016, then the Republicans are in a world of trouble. So despite the fact that there are these corporate Democrats out there running, in my opinion, terrible races across the country on the Senate side, I believe that the Democrats will actually pick up a seat. So I think they're going to pick up 1 seat, and the result at the end will be 50-50, a tie in the Senate. So, look, and I think that